What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, and I am back today with a viewer request. And this one's a little bit interesting. I received a viewer request about my Exodus and Awaken the Blood Avatar deck tech that I did quite a few months ago. And this individual wanted an update to it to bring it around to $200 to $300. Give it some updates, and I'll even at the end of the build section of this pop a few cards on screen that I think would be excellent upgrades for this to keep it within the $200 to $300 budget. We're aiming for bracket 3 because of our restriction for budget. It's a little harder to get it pure bracket 3 because of our game changers all being super expensive. But before we get into it, if you like my daily deck techs, if you like my Magic for the Working Class viewer content or discussion content or history as commander, feel free to subscribe, only if you feel I've earned it. And if you want to see your commander, drop in the comments down below or fill out the Google form. And I'm going to tell you something. The individual who reached out to me for this one, reached out to me via the Facebook Messenger on the very quiet Hidden Gibbon Facebook page. I've had folks reach out to me on Discord DMs or in the Discord server itself for some help. And so long as I am not like actively at work, I will get back to you pretty quickly. I am a firm believer in not gatekeeping knowledge or help. So long as this channel remains to the point where I like physically have enough time to help people, I will take time out of my day to help you no matter what. So if you have questions about your deck, questions about any of my decks, anything you would ask for, like upgrades and things like that, comments, DMs, etc., I will help you out. That is a promise. So now let's get into this Exodus deck, shall we? So this, if for those of you who watched my original Exodus deck, you're going to notice a lot of similarities because it is, for all intents and purposes, the exact same deck. We've just taken some cards out, put some cards in. So 3 cards that got taken out very quickly, and primarily due to budget, is Ogier Tak, Mondrak, and oh my goodness, Anointed Procession. There you go. Those cards are each commanding like $45 to $60. And our budget has to stick to 300, right? And I know those are incredibly powerful, but a lot of times Ogier Tak doesn't make it onto the battlefield in time to really save you the game. And we're going to be tinkering around with some newer cards. So to give a recap on Exodus, Exodus is double strike, Magecraft, and whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, return another non-legendary creature card from your graveyard to your hand. But that is not the focus of this deck. The focus is Awaken the Blood Avatar. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. It costs 2 less to cast for each creature sacrificed this way. Each opponent sacrifices a creature. Then create a 3/6 black and red avatar creature token with haste, and whenever it attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. So we're going to be focusing on Awaken the Blood Avatar. We're still going to have some sacrifice triggers in here, right? Like Mayhem Devil and Mirkwood Bats. I did want to keep those in there, as well as Pitiless Plunderer, because it's going to help feed into more. So a lot of the cards will be the same, but I will point out some that we are doing to tinker around with this build. Okie dokie. Artichoke. So leading us off, we still have Adeline, Resplendent Cathar. She is too good to not have in this deck. Her power is equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, you make a 1/1 white human that is tapped and attacking that player. And her power gets larger based on the number of creatures that you have. I also had to include Animpakal, a 1000th moon. 1, because I really like saying their name, and 2, because Animpakal is just genuinely very good. Think of Animpakal as like a newer Adeline. So whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a 1/1 counter on Animpakal. Then create X 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature tokens that are tapped and attacking, where X is the number of 1/1 counters. So not only will you be able to poop out a bunch of little gnomes onto the battlefield, but you will also be able to grow your Inimpakal into their own threat and then attack in with them. We have Aziza, Mage Tower Captain, a 2/2 for 2, and whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may tap 3 untapped creatures you control. If you do, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So this is very important. When you copy an X casting cost spell, which we have quite a few, right? Blot Out the Sky, Martial Coup, White Suns, Grand Crescendo, Secure the Wastes, right? Those are all cards that very much have an X casting cost spell. And so when you copy an X casting cost spell, it copies whatever you paid for X. So Aziza will copy that. And so say you made X3 because you don't have too much mana. Well, then this is going to make 6 tokens because it's going to copy the X times 3 spell. There you go. We have Belladonna Took. She is coming out from the new Hobbit set, and whenever a token you control enters, you gain 1 life. If it's the first time this ability has resolved this turn. If it's the second time, draw a card. If it's the third, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This card's really strong. If you see, it's whenever a token. It doesn't say whenever 1 or more. So if you create 3, that's going to trigger all 3. The first token entering is going to gain you the life. The second token is going to get you the card, and the third token is going to put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. This will help you grow not only your avatar tokens, but also help stabilize your life, give you card advantage, and make your little dorky dudes into an army that is worthy of being terrifying. We have Bitterbloom Bearer. It's just Bitter Blossom on a body. Please note that it is a 1/1. So it dies to pretty much anything, but it does have flash, so play it at the end of your opponent's turn, and then at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose a life, and you create a blue and black fairy. These sort of effects, we do have Bitter Blossom in this deck still, we still have Skrell's Hive, and Assemble the Dread Horde. They each cost you 1 life, but when you have something like Belladonna Took, it does stabilize a little bit. We have Blood Artist, which we're going to keep whenever this creature or another creature dies. Target player loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Very good when we're going to be sacrificing tokens. I'm going to pronounce it the correct way. Kaisar, Legion's Emperor, 4/4 for 4. Whenever you attack, you can sacrifice another creature. When you do, create 2/1/1 red soldier creatures that are tapped and attacking, draw a card to lose a life, or Kaisar, Legion's Emperor, deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to that opponent. He is still on the weaker end, so if you really wanted to, I would drop him for utility that helps with mana ramping, like fast mana or something. Cruel Celebrant, or whenever it or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. I'm trying out Gloin the Mighty in here, also from The Hobbit, simply because he adds double red during your first main phase. I really like this ability. Yeah, he costs 4, but he's a 4/3. He also can ping each of your opponent's creatures for 1, and that double red is going to help us with casting our spells. We have, I am not even going to begin to know how to pronounce this. Is it Hatut Zaraz Strike Force? When you cast this spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game, which we're going to be casting Awaken the Blood Avatar, hopefully several times. When this creature enters, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. So think of this as like Reclamation Sage, but a little bit on steroids. Sure, it costs 4, but as long as we've cast Awaken the Blood Avatar 2-3 times, you're getting so much value out of this. Blow up people's soul rings, blow up people's Dolmen Gate, their teleportation circles, etc. I added Illustrious Wanderglyph into this deck. This is Tendershoot Dryad, but for gnomes. Ascend, and other artifact creatures you control get +2/+2 as long as you have the City's Blessing, which is 10 or more permanents, and then you have it forever. At the beginning of each upkeep, create a 1/1 colorless gnome artifact creature token. This synergizes incredibly well with a Inimpakal, by the way. And notice it does say each upkeep, so it's creating blockers on your opponent's turn as well. We have Ishin, 2 heavens is 1. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. This had to remain in here because the blood avatar tokens, shoot opponents for 3. We want to trigger that twice. The faster we can get people down, the faster we're going to be able to get in there and do fun things. I swapped in Cabal Profiteering Mares, so whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your opponent's control, for each of them, create a tap token that's a copy of it. This ability triggers only once each turn. Whenever one or more tokens enter the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So not only are you going to be pinging and draining and gaining off of your opponents putting tokens down, but also when you make your own tokens as well. We kept Mahadi in. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each creature that died this turn. This is excellent, right? So say you have 6 tokens, you sacrifice them all to play your blood avatar, and then you get 6 treasures, which then will help you cast an X spell on the next turn to help you recast blood avatar. Mayhem Devil, Mirkwood Bats are in here because we're going to be sacrificing permanents, so we want to ping our opponents by doing that. Monastery Mentor, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, we're going to get to poop out a little white monk with prowess. Pitiless Plunderer, whenever another creature you control dies, you get a treasure token. Imagine having this and Mahadi out there at the same time, and then casting an X spell on your next turn. Prismari Pianist, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you get a 1/1 blue elemental. If that spell's mana value is 5 or greater, create 3 of those tokens instead. Remember, the mana value will be, for X spells, will be whatever you cast in the moment for X. Sedgemoor Witch, ward, paid 3 life, which essentially isn't ward in Commander. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery, you get to make a little black pest. That when it dies, you gain 1 life. Again, more life stabilization. I kept Silverquill in here. I really like this card. I thought he was going to make a bigger splash in Commander than what he did, but I really like it. Flying, Vigilance. Each instant sorcery spell you cast has casualty 1, which means as you cast that spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 1 or greater. When you do, copy the spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. We are trying out the Queen of Dale in here just because she is that good. Whenever an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you recruit 1, which means you draw a card and discard a card. And if you discarded a non-land card, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. Not bad. Young Pyromancer, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get a token. Our sorceries, we have 3 X costs, right? All 3 of them do essentially the same thing, which is they're going to poop out X tokens, either 2/1s, 1/1s, or 1/1 mites. Then they all say if their X is something or greater. For Blot Out the Sky, it's 6 or greater. For Martial Coup and White Sun's Twilight, 5 or greater. Destroy all other creatures. S isn't bad. It really isn't. Especially if you hold priority and you cast something like Mughal's Valor, where is it? Ripborn Defenses, right? Or even Grand Crescendo. Give your stuff indestructible. Very good. Tiny amount of draw in the sorcery slot with Night's Whisper. Instance, we do have Afterlife Insurgents. Creatures you control gain Afterlife 1 until end of turn. Whenever a creature with Afterlife dies, you make a spirit. So if you do need to, say, Wrath, and you pay 8 for this, right? Say you're paying 8 for White Sun's Twilight. If you have enough mana, you cast Afterlife Insurance, so all of the stuff you already have out there when it dies gives you a little spirit, in addition to the 8 mites you'll be getting, which of course can then all be sacrificed to the Blood Avatar. Or, in the case of White Sun's Twilight, this can just be a win con in and of itself, because these mites have Toxic 1, which poison out opponents. Remember, 10 poison counters kills an opponent. Anguished Unmaking for removal. We have big score is, the filter draw. So you're going to discard a card, draw 2, create 2 treasures. Blood for the Blood God. I always have to say it that way. Every video that you will ever see me have this card in, which is pretty much going to be most things with Rakdos, I am going to pronounce it like this because it has an exclamation point, and I like being that cheesy person. But Blood for the Blood God. Costs 8, double black and red. It costs 1 less to cast for each creature that died this turn, so when your opponents decide to wrath away your tokens, discard your hand, then draw 8 cards. Blood for the Blood God deals 8 damage to each opponent. Exile Blood for the Blood God, and then collect your skulls for the Skull Throne. We have body count. It has spectacle, so if creature died, you get to do the whole. I believe it's if a creature died. Let me just double check. Oh, if an opponent lost life this turn. That's easy peasy. So attack with one of your avatar tokens. You get to pay the 1 black instead. Draw a card for each creature that died under your control this turn. So you sacrifice a bunch of dudes. You have an avatar. Swing with the avatar. Do that sort of stuff. Call the Copper Coats. This is a new include in here. Strive. The spell costs 2 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X11 white soldier creature tokens where X is the number of creatures those opponents have. This helps out if we're facing, I wouldn't call it the mirror, but token mirror, right? Corrupt to Conviction. Sack a creature, draw 2 cards. Deadly Dispute, sack an artifact or creature, draw 2 cards, create a treasure. Despark is removal. Flare of Duplication, again, you can sacrifice a non-token red creature rather than pay its mana cost, or just pay the mana cost to copy a spell. Again, copying your X casting cost spells is always fine. Or you could copy something like Ink Shield here and just absolutely blow people out. Or even copy your Blood Avatar. Frontline Rush. Choose 1, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. Target creatures get +X until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. Fury Storm, this is whenever you cast a spell, copy it for each time you cast your commander this game. And it copies an instant or sorcery. So say you've cast your Blood Avatar like 3 times, and you cast it again, cast Fury Storm, and it's going to give you bunches and bunches of copies. Grand Crescendo, X casting cost that poops out tokens, gives your creatures indestructible. Ink Shield is a fog that's going to poop out a ton of 2/1s. Do you know how many times I've had people attack me for like 40 in a turn thinking that they were going to kill me, and then I Ink Shielded and get 40 2/1s and just win the game? This card, play this, in the great words of many people online, play this card more, chat. This card is an absolute blowout. It is a game saver, it is a finisher, and it is amazing. Please play this card more. The 2/1s. Imagine getting 42 ones or even 22 ones. So good. Moogle's Valor. For each creature you control, create a 1/2 white Moogle creature token with lifelink. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Raise the Alarm just poops out some tokens. Ripborn Defenses gives indestructible and populates, so you can make a copy of a token you control. Secure the Waste. Create X11 white warrior creature tokens. Village Right. Sack a creature. Draw 2. Will of the Mardu. If you control a commander, you can choose both, but it is create a number of 1/1 red warrior creature tokens, equal number of creatures target player controls, or Will of the Mardu deals damage to target creature equal number of creatures you control. So kind of as removal and token generation. We kept Skull Clamp in here because it's too good to not. We have Urbrask's Forge. A new include in this. It's going to put a threat on the board. Man, I wish if this deck had green, if this commander had green in it, I would have put Alien Invasion in here because of how much work I've seen that card do already. But Urbrask's Forge, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you put an oil counter on it, then you create an X1 Phyrexian Horror creature token with trample and haste, where X is the number of oil counters on Urbrask's Forge. Sacrifice that at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So what you can do is you either smash in and let this just sacrifice naturally, or you can always play a post-combat main phase Blood Avatar. The post main phase Avatar is a little awkward, but this is also just a big threat. This thing gets very strong very fast because it does trample. Enchantments, we have a Johnny's Welcome. This helps stabilize your health. Assemble Legion poops out dudes. For each muster counter, you get a muster counter during your upkeep. Skrelv's Hive, Dreadhorde Invasion, and Bitter Blossom, they poop out things every turn. Well, Dreadhorde Invasion grows your army every turn, while these two just poop things out. These are 1/1 fairies. These are little 1/1 mites. Black Market, whenever a creature dies, put a charge counter on Black Market. This card is so good in this deck. It will compound, and help you so much. yes, the initial investment is high, but it's just very, very good. Bastion of Remembrance. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses one, you gain one. Endless Foot Assault, the Tarantino card. Squad 2, so you can pay the extra 2 any number of times to copy it. Whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 black ninja creature token that's tapped and attacking that player. Takasi is welcome. Whenever a creature you control, mana 3 or less, enters, draw a card, triggers only once. Big sad on that. Wingcrag Siege, you're going to choose Jeskai. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a goblin. It gains lifelink and haste. Or, if you already have Blood Avatar tokens out, you're going to pick Mardu. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time. This and Ishin out there just make sick things happen. And then Luminarch Ascension. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if you didn't lose life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Luminarch Ascension. If you get this down early, like turn 2, the odds of you getting the 4 quest counters on it is very, very, very high. And then you just pay 2, create a White Angel creature token with flying. Activated ability only if it has 4 more quest counters on it. This card saw Legacy play back in the day, friends. Fringe Legacy play, but Legacy play nonetheless. It is very good, and it's one of those cards that I just don't see anymore, despite the fact of how good it is. This will generate threats. You don't even need to sacrifice these tokens. These ones are just there to do the business. And then I varied up the land base. The old land base had very few non-basics in it. It's also only at 36 lands. I brought it up to 39. We added in a Care Keep, a Castle Ardenvale, to poop out little tokens. We added in the bounce lands here. And yeah, that is the build. All right, so I promised an upgrade package. So cards that I would add to this deck as your budget increasingly allows, right? Fast mana. So first and foremost, I didn't have a whole lot of mana rocks in here. I wanted to pack it full of cards that we needed. However, do what you think is best to help get things out faster. Things like Soul Ring, the Signets, etc. They do help you play spells faster. I kept this more to bracket 2. I'd say mid-high bracket 2. It'll win in those slower turns, but that's a good include already. Once you have the funds for things like Game Changers, again, fast mana is where you'll want to be at. Things like Chromox or Ancient Tomb will help you out a lot. Playing things like Teferi's Protection, not response. Teferi's Protection to phase out your tokens, so that way you can save your board from things like Wrath effects. And then, obviously, for token generation, re-adding in those things like Ogier Talk, Mondrak, and Anointed Procession to double your tokens as your budget allows. Or if you proxy, just proxy them in. I really, really like doing fun things for folks, and I try my best, but as always with any of these deck techs, these are designed as a template to give you ideas to move forward with and make the deck your own. Every deck is the way it is, and is beloved by the people who make it, like Kratos and Atreus deck here, based upon the personal decisions and pet cards that you have and that you love to put in. So use it as a template, treat it like a pre-con. Do what you need to do to make it your own. And now for playtesting. All right, we are back. Slower hand, but we'll see what we're doing here. We're going to draw for our turn. Put down Command Tower. Next turn. I'll put down a mountain. We are going to drop a Skrelv's Hive. Next turn. We lose one, but we get a Skrelv's Hive. Where is it? Might. This is the one thing about these kind of decks. Look at them all. So many different tokens that we're going to be dropping onto the board. We have that. I'm going to drop a Dragon Skull Summit. And, you know, I think that what we're going to do is we're going to drop Bastion of Remembrance. So when it comes out, we get a 1/1 white human. We get our human. Whenever a creature I control dies, we gain, we lose 1 life. Or we gain 1 life. The opponents lose 1 life. We're going to draw for turn. I'm going to condense my lands a little bit here. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to play Gloin the Mighty. I also am going to click on this card and hit X to make a token copy of it, right? And the whole goal here is we're a little bit slower, but we're going to build up board. Next turn, we create another one. We drop our swamp. We're going to play Belladonna Took. We have 2 red in our mana pool. So I'm going to just set him here. We are going to sacrifice these 3 mites. Now, we ping our opponents for 3. We gain 3. We're going to use... Well, actually, we're going to keep 1 out here because we don't need to. So we have 2 red. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. We play our Blood Avatar. Where is our little Blood Avatar token? There he is. So, and he has haste. Whenever this creature attacks, it deals 3 damage to each opponent. And a token entered, so we gain 1 life. Not terrible, right? Now, now it costs 10, right? So if we really wanted to, we could go 2, 4, 6, and we can't play it this turn. But swing. Next turn, I'm going to play a swamp. And we get 1 of these. Now we have 2, 4, 6, 8. We could still do that this turn. We also gain a life for Belladonna Took. I am going to play... I'm going to play Afterlife Insurance. And then I'm going to sacrifice 1, 2, 3. So 2, 4, 6. Use that for 8, 9, 10. And we're going to do our Blood Avatar again. Now, please note that these 3 tokens died this turn. And so, we get to have spirits. Who's got spirit? Yes, I do. I've got spirit. How about you? So we get our 3 spirits here. This triggers the Belladonna Took, which then we get to add a counter. Add a counter. Technically, these 3 have a counter on them as well. Add a counter. Add a counter. So now we have 4 6 blood avatars that are now we're hitting people for 6 on each turn. And we still have mana up for Despark. On our next turn, of course, we get a Phyrexian Might. We lose a life. But we gain a life from Belladonna Took. So good. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures in play. I am going to play Will of the Mardu. And we don't control our commander. That's fine. But we are going to create for ourselves 8 1/1 red warrior creature tokens. That is the wrong type of warrior. Friends, that is the right type of warrior. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Belladonna Took. Oh, I forgot to draw off Belladonna Took last time. Belladonna Took triggers. We're going to play this land. And she triggers again. Again, I'm not going to put the counters on every creature because it's just too much of a hassle. But you see how it grows. And now we have all of this for us to be able to play our Awaken the Blood Avatar again. Oh yeah, one upgrade I also wanted to suggest is things like Ashnod's Altar. It helps you with your X casting cost spells too. turns each one creature into 2 mana. Very good. And then we could probably just win this turn because we're going to tap a Plains and a Mountain, and we're going to play Frontline Rush. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where the number of creatures you control. Not win. We're going to kill one opponent, probably. We'll give him +X/+X, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. On top of the 12 and 3, or 6 and 3 they've already taken, we're going to swing out at that opponent. We're going to kill them dead. All right, good. Next turn, we get another one of these guys, and we are looking pretty terrifying. Notice I didn't play Blood Avatar that turn. We have sufficient threats on the board. We don't need to do it necessarily. But we are going to do it this turn. So this costs 10 currently. I'm going to... So 2, 4, 6, 8. And then black, red. We're going to cast it. First things first, we gained a life off of the Phyrexian Might, which we go here. Then we get to draw a card off of that Blood Avatar. Oh my. I am then going to play the Bat. These guys are dead. Go over here in the pile. And then we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Which we got rid of 5 tokens, so everybody's drained for 5, and we're going to poop out another Avatar. And then everybody's getting a 1/1 counter on them. Yeah. So it's up to 4. We can go ahead and swing in. So that's 3, 6, 9, 12 damage to everybody just off of that. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, I am Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.